I don't know exactly. I crushed him at 20 yards and he's laying dead at about 80. Yeah, he freaking chased a doe right underneath of me. I got it on film and everything. With every good story comes a good storyline. My 2024 season was full of ups and full of downs. I had bucks get away. I had issues where I could get close to bucks, but I couldn't avoid jumping them. Had a lot of successful hunts, and over that time period, seen an incredible amount of deer with an incredible amount of nice bucks. I'm not going to say I hunted a ton of mature deer or world-class deer as I have over the past several years. I've normally had a chance at a few giants, and this year I did get my opportunity. I didn't throw every single hunt into this video, but from about October 22nd to November 11th, I did put most of the hunts into there. A few of them being goofy, a few of them being funny, but I think you're gonna enjoy this. I think it's a good story. It's a real pleasure for me to be able to put this together. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, was mistakes made here. I didn't practice like I should have over the summer with my recurve, but hindsight being 2020, when I did practice, things just worked really good. I had a custom tab that I had made myself and got it sewn by an old lady, and the tab itself was perfect. It was everything that I wanted, and I was shooting unreal good with it. But about, I would say, 3 or 4 days prior to this hunt, I had lost it. So I had went and just made a glove of some sort, and that's what I was shooting, and it completely changed everything. But when I got to the place to hunt this night, I found my tab somehow miraculously in my harness. So I took a couple practice shots with it out by the truck into a bank. Everything worked great. I hit where I was aiming, but it's still, I had really altered the feel of my shot by not having the tab for the last 4 days, and I was practicing every single day because I had not practiced correctly during the summer. But I wanted to give deer, their ultimate opportunity to be shot at with an ethical shot. And I don't even like using the word ethical, but when it comes down to traditional stuff, it's not like shooting a compound. You line some stuff up and shoot and it hits. This is all instinctive, so things are important. Hard work is earned, but it's important. This buck came in as beautiful as I ever could have imagined it. I had pictures of him and another buck that morning going back to a bedding area, and I was pretty sure that I could get on these bucks. He came in to 17 yards. I passed the shot. I had him at 19 yards, past that shot. He swung around below me, and I was worried about the wind, or I would have continued to let him come. There was a scrape at 13 yards, but I was really worried that he wasn't going to make it to without winding me. Looking back now, obviously, I would have completely changed the way things had went, and taken that chance. I would have much rather watched the deer run away than to watch him run away the way he did. but got my shot opportunity at 24 yards. Really liked that distance, practiced it a ton. I drew back, aimed low, thinking the deer would duck a little bit because I did have to stop him pretty loudly because he would not stop in any other place. Shot and the deer didn't move. The arrow hit exactly where I aimed. It was low, basically straight through the back of the front leg, basically just probably missing the heart. It was really a flesh wound basically. The arrow penetrated way more than enough, but under the vitals at that. I ended up searching for the deer every single day, driving around looking for buzzards. Nothing. The deer never showed back up. I hunted the place 2 or 3 more times, never seen the deer again, but things do get kind of interesting, and there is a change of events, and I do believe everything happens for a reason. So I hope you guys have enjoyed up to this point. Things are definitely going to get more interesting. A little rowdy, but fun.
So if you need a good laugh, I got one for you. I'm sure there's deer close to me right now, but honestly at this point, I don't really care. I got to this piece of public, walked about probably just under a mile in. I start finding really heavy sign. I text my girlfriend, I said, hey, I don't know if I'm 30 yards or 100 yards away from this deer, but he's here. Like, this sign is really, really fresh, which means he probably left this morning before he went back to bed. I can see huge red oaks. I mean, this is unbelievable. And I thought either I can go into this trail right here, or I'll walk up the edge a little bit, get a little higher, and then I'll slip in, find a tree, and go up. I walk like 10 steps up the edge of the woods, and the buck jumps up and runs to the top of the hill, which isn't 50 yards away, and stops. I assume this deer to have probably just eased off. He'll probably circle in downwind of the hill. I'll kill him. What I figured. So I start sneaking, and I feel like I hear deer, but it's just like a bunch of them. So I thought, it's probably squirrels. I tiptoe my way up, and there's huge rubs and scrapes on an incline. There shouldn't be, but it's just perfect. I peeked my head up over the top of this hill, and him and like 4 other deer in this really thick acorn flat were looking at me, and they take off running. I looked and tried to get through this stuff. Finally coming up with the tree I'm in. Which is about 5 foot off the ground. But there's a really hard trail on my right. And I can actually see for 30 yards to my left. If anything comes back in here, it's gonna be like bouncing off limbs and really close. But I mean, I jumped him once and he wasn't smart enough to run. And then the second time, his back was turned to me whenever the doe blew. So wishful thinking me thinks that he don't know what that doe blew at, and he's gonna circle back in and come right here and give me like a sitting right here, and I shot that damn deer standing right there at like 6 or 7 yards. I deflect the limb, hit her right in the high shoulder, and then she runs down there. I pin another one up in her chest. She rolls down the hill. I went Wild West on her, jumped down, shot her again, found one of my damn arrows, tossed her back in my bow, and I'm gonna be set up for something. I think a buck could come in here, honestly. There's so much bucks coming. This is the deer trail I was hunting. It is a funnel through a huge oak flat. I was sitting in that tree right there.
In this segment, I'm heading back to where I just shot the doe. I'm going on the back side of that. I want to add this because it does build up to the story of a buck that ultimately I really wanted to hunt, but a really good story for next year.
So I made it back in here. I'm way back in here. And it's honestly time to be in a tree. There's a tree stand. Tree stand right there. Which, kudos to him. That would have sucked to have carried back here, because I am right at a mile from the parking lot. But this is a perfect ridge that finishes out right here, and two ridges meet. There is the biggest red oak I've ever seen in my life. Multiple of them, probably close to a dozen here. And these deer funneling in. I killed a deer here the other night, and so many deer came into here. I think they're coming from the other direction too, but when I was hunting, they all come from this direction. So I did a big loop around the back side of this, and these deer are gonna come right here in front of me. So well, it's October. And it's not just October, it's October the 29th. And I'm in a spot that I come and scouted and hunted the other day, and I actually shot a doe out of here. Seen a really good buck. And just so happens this morning, I ended up getting a picture of a giant. This giant. And I was not man enough to move straight in when it was 80 degrees. That picture was about 600 or 700 yards out this ridge. And the deer itself could be a deer that was passing by. It could be a deer that is used to being there. But no matter what the situation, I'm close. I seen a big buck here the other night. I got the bow loaded. I'm here. Could just happen to be my night. With this being the best food that I know close, I feel as if I've probably got the best shot possible to getting it done. So, wish me luck, and the wind should start to pull down the hill here soon. I actually have a wind that's blowing right at the deer. I done that on purpose. Hill country, you can do that. Out in the open, you cannot. So, I got a trail coming by me here at about 15 yards. Let's see if we can make something happen.
Up to this point in the year, I had not hunted this property, none. And I was saving it for basically the opportunity at a bigger buck. Most of the other places that I hunt have either other people on them, there's a lot of hunting pressure around them, and this one being the same, but this particular property does one thing, and it holds deer, and there's deer close at all times. So going in there, I knew it was going to be a really good hunt. I had put a cell cam in there early on in the year, right at the beginning of bow season, or maybe just right before. I'm sorry, it was right before. And I left it alone and never went back. And pretty much every buck that I had on camera I seen this day, which gave me a little bit of confidence that a big deer hadn't moved in there just yet. But doesn't mean that a big buck's not walking through that property. So I think you guys really enjoy this part.
calculations are correct, I've seen 6 bucks, 7 does, and I'm down an arrow because I was drawing the bow back, getting a feel for everything, and my fingers are a bit cold and the release is a bit touchy. The guy sent one down the leaves, brand new Muzzy MX3, buried in the dirt. I have to clean it and own up that edge. But I think I'm gonna back up this stand, which was kind of the reason I came in here anyways, was to back up this stand. But I have a camera, a cell cam over here, and I think I may have seen every but 2 of the bigger bucks that I have on camera here. I really didn't have any shooters here to start with, just some nicer bucks.
Me and my nephew decided to go out on this particular hunt on some public land, and I'd had an instance where I'd had a big deer came in right at last light and I couldn't shoot him, so I decided to move a little bit closer. It was the time of the year that it mattered. It was right at the end of October, moving into the beginning of November, and as long as there wasn't a hot doe per se, I knew things could get really good really quick, and this was still November the 1st. But same instance, heard a buck grunting, called him in right at dark. Nothing I could do. All I could do was see him in the headlamp, and he was absolutely dazed already. He did not give a hoot that I had a light in a tree. He didn't care. I literally completely took my lock on, or my hanging hunt setup down, and walked out of there. He never moved. He just stood there under 40 yards and done nothing. I don't know if the deer was sick. I don't know if he was just really thought I was a doe in a tree or a buck in a tree and wanted to fight. But whatever the case may be, there was nothing I could do about it.
I hit a different deer. You're known for that.
It's like a period over here.
I think you might have got it.
There's blood on the tree or something.
Well, there's a little bit of blood. Helen Keller could follow this blood.
Oh my God.
What the hell is that? Is that a leaf or is that bone?
What do you mean, where?
Is that leaf or bone right there? Pick that up. I think it's part of his bone.
That's part of his bone.
What'd you do? Break the artery in the front leg?
I told you, dude. I couldn't see. I just
Jesus Christ, what's that bow made out of?
That's bone, buddy.
It's bone?
Touch it.
Oh my God. You said I've got just a sneaky suspicion that this deer ain't laying very much farther.
Listen here, boy. Oh my God. You said go on the wing and get that forward.
Come on. Where's your arrow at?
Come on. I walked the arrow right back here.
Where the hell's the deer?
I don't know.
Hopefully it ran halfway back to the truck. Seriously, where's the deer?
Where is the deer? There's no blood right here.
You see blood?
A little bit. Oh, yeah. There's a lot right here.
Yeah, say, how the hell did you lose that blood trail?
Oh, it's right there. Look at that.
Deer?
Yeah.
Oh, I'll be damned. There's a deer.
Where is the arrow?
I don't know.
God damn, I'm running low on arrows. I need that.
I see it's right there.
Oh, yeah,
Here,
it's
you
right there.
see
Look at it. Oh, shit.
Is it okay? Yeah, it's got the insert in and the broadhead.
Dude, did a flip. Hell yeah. Oh, look at that.
Do a flip, bro. Congratulations, Carr.
I'm going to throw that thing in my back.
I don't remember exactly what day this was. I'm thinking it was around the 5th or the 6th of November, I believe. But I'm where I got the picture of the really big buck. And I'm moving in to set up both my cell cams in there and to move a stand in there to where I thought I could possibly have a shot at him, thinking that maybe he'll use the same bed that the big 7-pointer did. And I was just going to put myself a little bit closer, I should say. But see what happens.
Dragging it to this piece of private. I had a picture of a really big buck here about a week ago. I'm using this little creek in the woods. The house is about 400 or 500 yards that way. I've got a long ways to go. I'm gonna do a loop around this whole property. I'm gonna drop off a camera and then the batteries and another one. But I'm already tired. Probably because my girlfriend fed me a whole bunch of food. She's been trying to fatten me up for winter for the last couple months. Trying to walk all that off. But when I get to the top of this hill, I'll check back in, set this camera up. It's a big hill. There's another big hill on top of that. But let's get after it.
Well, it's November the 2nd. Yesterday was, well, a really good hunt, honestly. I ended up seeing, I think, 19 deer overall. Saw 7 bucks. And ended up having a good buck coming on me on last night at about I had switched about 2:30 in the afternoon to go hunt with my nephew. And it was a really good hunt. He ended up killing a deer. The only thing I got from that was the blood trail in a single picture. But it's about 5 o'clock and I made one heck of a move back here. I just walked the whole outside skirt of the property, added another cell cam and put batteries in another one. Ended up putting it right here in front of this stand, right on this little pinch point at the back side of this shelf. I can see trails coming up from the 90-degree angle on this ridge, and then I already know there's several trails through here because literally every deer I've ever saw here has come right through here in some way, shape, or form. Every one of them. It's really hard to come in here without jumping deer. I jumped 3 deer that I seen on the way in here. And that's only what I know of. I found some really fresh scrapes. But anyways, it's about prime time. I got myself eye level with the deer, unfortunately, but I set myself up in front of several young beech trees that's going to keep me hidden so something can't come directly in front of me. I got really good shooting lanes to my right and my left and behind me. I'm right on the transition of some undergrowth where it had been timbered in the last 20 years or so. I just wish I was a few sticks higher, but I got all I got with me. Probably would be a good night for the climber, but I wanted this stand to be here. So, wish me luck.
Well, I do remember what day that was now, and it was the next day after we had went hunting on the public in Carson and shot the doe. And he had went hunting in a spot that, I hunted a lot growing up, and told him to set their daylight to dark and he'd shoot a buck. And well, he did. He had a buck come in, sat there for 12 hours and had a buck come in, and he shot him at 56 yards and killed him. And it was just pretty dang cool to see my nephew be successful with a bow. I've watched him kill some really nice bucks. I was laying in bed last night actually just thinking about all the bucks that me and him's been together on. He's killed an 11 pointer, an 8 pointer, a 10 pointer, a spike. Was with him hunting right next to him, set him up on the biggest bow buck of his life, and they killed a real nice 10 pointer last year, and he's got this 9 pointer this year. I mean, the kid has really killed some nice bucks through his life, and I guess I forget about everything sometimes, but this was a pretty cool. I was just as excited as he was when I got the phone call on that tree. So congratulations to him. I love him. He's my favorite nephew, my only nephew, but me and him's had a lot of cool adventures. So I had to go meet my brother, and when I met him, there was a piece of public right across the road from there. So I was like, well, it's already like 2 o'clock. So I hopped off in there, found a trail that went back probably 3/4 of a mile. There was a real nice saddle back there. Sign was everywhere. I could definitely tell that there was a buck living in there and using this as his little sanctuary to try to get some does. So him or another buck I knew would probably walk through there. It was a pretty cool hunt. I ended up seeing a real nice buck, but it was right at last light, and I didn't really, I'm gonna say I didn't really want to shoot him. He was just a nice buck. He wasn't the buck that I wanted to kill.
I'm a sweaty mess. This was supposed to be my hunting hat. Wasn't supposed to get hot in it. But now I gotta rewash everything. Yeah, I don't wash anything, but it's November the 4th. And today was just a really emotional day, and it's been a really hard day all day. Where I'm currently living, I cannot have my dog due to conflict with other animals. And she's 16 years old, and I pretty much had to give her up to my brother to take care of her. It started to set in earlier, and I was like, no, not right now. It's not a good time. But right across from where I dropped her off, there was a piece of public, and it was 2 o'clock already. And it ain't but probably a half mile back here. And after about 500 yards, I finally ran into a scrape. And then I ran into 7 scrapes right here real close. And then off through the brush into a thicket was 6 really big rubs. It's right down here over my left shoulder. The wind's it's in my face. It's a steady south wind. I don't know what kind of bedding's straight behind me. I don't know if these deer or how they travel in and out of here. I just know the route that I came in, I pretty much walked over. Super consistent sign. I got out 3 Tink 69s, and I also rubbed Tink 69 stick all the way up this tree, all over my boots. It's everywhere. There's Tink 69 everywhere. But I've even got one hanging in the tree with me. But I have no idea what lives here. I've never in my life hunted here. But I got on sign pretty quick.
chance that a big boy could live in here. If it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen right here about, well, like under 10 yards. I could also see some slipping in here to my right and cutting this rub line, because I don't know if the rub line just goes across or if it's connected to the scrapes. I just know all the sign cross right here. It's a really good part in the terrain, and there's really good terrain embedding and thickets around me that could definitely bring the deer to this spot. There's not any reason for them to eat here other than some green briar, but I think I'm in the right spot. The buck was right over there. Well, it's November the 5th and it's election day. And if you didn't get out and vote for Donald Trump, then shame on you. I honestly, in my heart, felt as if humans had enough common sense. But honestly, they just don't. And you gotta pray for those type of people. But I am in sign heaven here. The state came in and cleared off this spot right next to the corner of a cut cornfield. The buck rubs and the scrapes in here are unreal. And the nice thing is they're all fresh. But I'm only like 8 foot off the ground and probably stick out like a sore dick. But I just have to have one slip up in here and give me a shot. As far as the tree goes, I'm definitely dating the fat chick on public land tonight. But as far as the walk goes, I'm definitely not dating the fat chick because I'm back here. I'm kind of worried about even posting the video if something was to happen and I was to kill a deer, because somebody left a bow hanger in this tree, screwed into the tree. And I'm sure they'll watch this video if I shoot a giant out of this little tree. It's a pretty cool spot. Like I said, Dunn's a sign. There was 2 does bedded right here when I walked in, and a big buck 500 yards down the corn row, walking this direction when I drove in on the county road. I got to my car and I made it like 3/4 of a mile in the matter of about 15 minutes. I got dressed. I just heard a grunt. There's a buck grunt right here. It's been about 5 minutes since I heard that grunt. I just looked down and I just seen a good buck walk out of the CRP. He faced straight away from me and went right back in the CRP. That looked like a good buck. I'm gonna do some grunting. My thermals are pulling really hard uphill still. I wish it was just a tiny bit later. He'll circle in above me and win me right here. Give it a shot. CRP. They're running hard. Sounded like two bugs locked up. I don't know if you can hear that in the audio. I need to stay here all day. I'm gonna see what the winds do in the next couple days. But I might get it done tonight. Dude, this stings so bad. When I came in here, I scouted all these scrapes, and I swung up. When I came back down, I thought, man, I really need to be down here. The wind's forecasted to be straight out in the middle of this field. The thermals just seemed to never fall. And it was pulling it lateral right here. I just looked up and there's a giant. God, that freaking hurt so bad. And he was 25 yards. He just had to walk another 10 yards. I got stood up. I couldn't tell what his head was doing. I could just see his huge rack. He was right over the top of my ground set from where I walked earlier. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. He smelled me. Dang it. He didn't blow. He didn't hardly even make a noise. His tail didn't even go up. He just started backpedaling. He's probably still here close. Just in case he only saw me get up. I went ahead and snort-wheezed. Man, that one hurt really bad. Like, seriously. I felt it. When I got here, there was a big buck walking up the edge of this woods, and I don't know if it was the same buck or not. Dang it. I felt like I needed to hunt off the ground right up there. I even looked at a little bitty tree and thought, man, that would be just ugly. Damn it, damn it, damn it, damn it. On to the next one. That was about as good as it gets right there.
That hurt really bad watching that buck just backpedal out of there. But I don't know if I wouldn't have seen a big buck walking along the edge of the field that I ever would have even ended up exactly where I was. I may have been better off. I probably would have went a little deeper. The sign that was there was just incredible, and I wanted to see more sign, and I walked around too much. I put myself in a situation where the deer ultimately walked over my track, and the heartbreak of the next day didn't really I didn't really expect this to happen, but had to work the next morning. I really needed to work. I wanted to set all day on that deer, and I didn't because of I have responsibilities, and the buck got shot. Like, how in the world does something live that long and get that big? And the day I see it, the next day, somebody that isn't even from this state goes in there and shoots it. And I show up, and the deer is wounded on the way back to where I'm gonna walk, and I decided to just cut my ties, and I actually never went back there until 2 nights ago. I think we went back there, me and Cooter, and we seen just bukus of deer. They had shoved all them deer back there. I had 4 bucks come within bow range of me. It was a pretty good hunt, but didn't expect that to happen. I don't know if they killed the deer. The deer was still alive at the time. When I had seen the people again, I had left a note on their truck to ask if they had, or not the guy, but a guy that was with them looking for it. I never got no straight answer. Never got an answer. So I'm assuming that the deer is still alive. Probably going to throw some cell cams back in there. See if maybe I can finagle a way to kill him early bow season next year. I don't know. The deer could be dead though. But that was a big bummer. It sucked because you don't get chances at deer that big that often. I know it doesn't show all of them, but holy smokes did I have a heck of a hunt. But I was sitting on the ground and my tree stand had broke and there was just deer blowing and seeing me, and it was an absolute disaster. But I did notice something. When I was hunting about 60 yards off, I seen a buck and I stood up, glassed the buck, and it was a pretty good buck. Something that I would be more interested in harvesting at this point in the year. Had no leads on the big non-typical, what I'm going to call the hill. And this being probably the best piece of private I got as far as seeing deer consistently. And it's where I killed my buck last year, which he was just a nice 8-point. I thought, maybe I'll take my recurve in here and try to kill that buck. What was the worst that's going to happen, Am I going to miss it? Foreshadowing. Ended up seeing, I think it was 12 or 13 deer on this particular hunt. And that buck tipped me off to where to set for the next night. So maybe something cool's going to happen. Maybe not. I don't know. I was in the last 5 to 10 minutes of light. I had forgot my GoPro at home, and I look up and see a doe tail down running at me, and I hear brick, brick, brick grunting right behind her, and the doe runs in and stops at 20 yards. I look up, seeing a buck, looked through my binoculars, got to look at him for about that long, and I'm like, yep, big enough for me, big enough for you, big enough for me. Didn't know if it was 100 inches, didn't know if it was 130, didn't know if it was 200. I didn't know. I just seen a rack, and this is the opportunity. This is the moment that we wait for. It's just those really high intense moments. So I get everything set up. At this point, I'm shooting a little bit different arrow setup with a crawl, so I could be a little more fine on my yardage. And so I get everything set up to about where the doe's at. He runs and mounts her immediately at 20 yards, and I'm just like, you've got to be kidding me. So I'm looking, and I'm like, okay, as soon as he gets off of her, I'm gonna draw a shoot. And so he gets off of her, and she runs about 10 more yards and stops. He gets on her again. Well, at this point, I'm like, I've got to shoot this thing, like, now. And so I get everything set up. I'm trying to get my fingers set up for the crawl, which, let me tell you something, instinctive or a gap is just so much better, especially for this instance. So get everything set up. I draw back, stops him, and I just made a perfect shot. I mean, it was perfect. But my yardage was off a few yards on my crawl, and I just went right underneath of him. I mean, I made just a perfect shot, which I was happy about that, but I missed the deer, plain and simple. And I really wasn't that upset about it, other than I'm like, man, you wounded one, you missed one. The only thing left to do now is kill one. So sent me home with my tail tucked and not super happy. But I knew where I was going to be the next day and the next day and the next day, because this place was pretty hot, and saving it up to this point was starting to pay off.
I got my arrow out of the ground right there. He was standing right here. It went right underneath of him. And there's my tree I was in. It was 32.5 yards. I shot him for 30, which is plenty to miss a deer with a recur. Sure what day it is. I'm not gonna look back right now, but it's about 20 after 8. And we just had a nice 8-pointer come through. I've pretty much got soaked since about 6:30. It has been one wet time. But at this point, I've got enough bucks walking through the woods to create pretty reasonable video. With some heartbreak, a pretty reasonable video. But I'm set up off the end of this ridge. There's a bench right below the ridge, about 60 yards. And it kind of funnels the deer down off the end of this point. And that buck just came up the downwind side of this point. The problem is he smelled me. The good thing is he still gave me a shot. I could have shot sitting there for the last couple weeks. And I basically put it above the bench. I feel like I probably should have had it on the bench. But I've seen a lot of deer come through here. And the buck that I shot on the 22nd of October definitely come down above the bench. So what I'm going to do is at about probably 11 or 12, maybe 10, I don't know. I'm going to get up or get down and I'm going to move to the back side of this. And I'm going to check for sign because there's no sign in here. I'm not saying the bugs aren't naturally funneling through here. But not only have I not got a picture of a mature buck here since like the 29th of October. Well, that's pretty much the reason. I want to see if there's sign on the back side of this. And I would say take that camera back there, but the batteries are draining. I just put those batteries in less than 2 weeks ago. And they're shot, like they're getting ready to go belly up on me. I'm going to go ahead and take the camera with me and put it back there on a scrape line or a rub line or a scrape in general, or just a really good nice spot where deer would walk through. But I'm soaked. I plan on being here all day. I hope we see more deer. But until then, the swing up here should be some real heavy stuff coming through in the next hour. I'm gonna ride it out. That bug hit my ground sound a little bit ago back here, and he wasn't a fan, so I came up at the wrong spot. But well, kind of hard to do something in the dark whenever you can't see, and you've actually never accessed it that way. I only come out about 60 yards down, but I suspect all the deer come from in front of me, and he did, so I just gotta get him to me and get the right one to me. Let's get her done. Update. It's raining really hard. And the weatherman skipped gale force winds. So I've been holding on to the side of this tree like a really fat slug with a poncho on. The squirrels are moving. I guess the deer are too. I'm gonna make a decision here soon whether or not to move on the other side of this ridge. I'm definitely texting the landowner and having him come pick my fat butt up in the tractor later. It took me like 35 minutes to walk back here. Because I'm really out of shape. Actually, I'm really in shape if you want to be rounds of shape. Whatevs. There's a waterfall on my back. But so far, my upper half's only halfway soaked. My lower half is soaked. There's water in the crease of my toes because I wore Walmart moccasins. I don't know what I was thinking there, but I did. My feet are actually cold. When I get down, I'll probably sit, take my shoes off, and wring my socks out just for a little bit more comfortability.
felt it right down in my soul. I needed to move. I probably moved 200 or 300 yards deeper on the back side of this bedding on top. And the wind's perfect. It's blowing right off the end of this hill here, and the thermals were dropping when I got here. And it's kind of funny. I ate my lunch, come over here, set my tree stand up, and as I was stepping into the stand, I looked to my left. There was a bug, a small bug, and I look over my right shoulder, and there's a doe. I'm assuming it was a doe. I didn't get a look at its head, and it blew at me, so I'm guessing so. I step into my stand, pull my bow up, hang it up, and I text Miranda to let her know what was going on. And I looked from the same place the doe, or deer, had just blew, and I seen a deer shake off, and I seen a head of horns. It was a small buck. Ended up walking and coming right past me, and I was texting Miranda, and I was like, these deer can't smell me at all. And I hadn't checked to see if the thermals were still pulling up and out. And it got down below me and looked up at me, and it didn't blow. It just kind of walked down over the hill. Like, I smell you, but I'm in a really good position where multiple trails come up and meet right here. I'm on the downwind side of a bedding area. I'm assuming that doe had came out of there. But a lot of action here real quick. As soon as the sun came out and this rain stopped, so I think I came back here and sat for a good reason, although I did get wet and seen that nice buck. I think the rest of the day could be pretty interesting. I just need to sit still, look at my eyes, and if I could mess around and kill a big one. Well, 4 o'clock has struck, and I'm still sitting here above the saddle. And let me tell you, I haven't saw a deer since about 5 minutes after I got up in the tree. But I'm pretty optimistic that right before dark or coming up here soon, the deer are going to start to move again. I think they moved right before the rain stopped. And then right after it stopped, I think they laid back down. The birds are going crazy in a few different spots, and the squirrels keep barking down below me. It's just a matter of time before I look down, and a good buck's walking up through here. I mean, it's gonna happen right here close. My wind all day has been fighting itself, I guess. The wind is blowing out the saddle, but the thermals aren't allowing it to get very far. And then every once in a while, I'll get a gust that goes across, kind of out into oblivion. I just hope deer don't come up through there. I mean, they definitely could come off on the inside right here. I see deer bedded. I see deer wood bed off either side of the saddle, kind of in the position where the squirrels and blue jays and everything are going off. I also have a good bedding right here. Right above me. It's an old field. It's like a 5-acre field. And everything's like saplings in the size of your thigh in there. I would say probably last 10, 15 years it hasn't been touched. On the other end of it, it's really thick actually. But right here, it's not. I need to plug my phone in because it's about to die. But
packing this lock on these sticks in my backpack out of here. It's gonna take a while. That bird right there is in the right spot. Most of the time my thermals are just spinning right here with me, but I've had some wind spit out there, so I went through like 4 milk pods. But let's see if we can get this done. Hopefully, maybe.
Oh boy. Walking into this piece of private. I'm gonna try to hang a couple cell cameras. I don't know if that's gonna be on my way in or my way out, but I don't even know what day it is. It's like November the 11th or 12th. And why is the wind? Wait a minute. My milkweed's wetter than crap. My milkweed's wet. The wind is not blowing the right direction down here. It's pulling up. I guess it makes sense.
Well, I'm in a tree. It's November the 11th. I may not be in the right tree. The trails are coming almost underneath of me. Kind of messed that part up. But it was the best tree for the job. I did not give myself much shooting lanes, and I probably should have brought my recurve with as close as my shots are gonna be. But anywho, it is November the 11th. It is time. It's been time. It was time a long time ago. But I've got my bow in my hand because something could slip in on me pretty easy here. This trail below me is wore out. Coming from the neighbors. If I'm not positive, this is like their sanctuary here because a lot of deer come out of it. And they're just so free when they come through here. Ain't free if you got a big rack on your head and you're walking by me tonight. Cause I'll end you. I'm gonna stay ready all evening. Bow in hand. It's getting chilly. I'm gonna be in this tree or a tree here close in the morning. If you don't hear back from me, you know I didn't get anything. But I'm ready. I'm ready for it to be over. I had a good month and a half of fun. Need to get back to work. I shouldn't say I haven't worked. I've definitely worked. I worked the first half of the day. Stay tuned. Something could happen.
Right. 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 He's gonna go down. He's going down. That boy's going down. That boy is going down. Right there. That boy's going down. That boy's going down. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God.
I got a buck. Yeah. No, it was a nice 10-pointer. It was the same buck I missed with my recurve the other night. Yeah, I just crushed him. He chased the doe in here. He's dead right over here beside me. No, he's dead. No, he's dead. He's dead about 5 yards from where I missed him from. Jonah's bow. I had Jonah bring me his bow a couple days ago. I mean, he's not the biggest buck I ever killed in my life, but I mean, I've been working really hard at it. He's a real nice 10-pointer. He looked like he was pretty good outside his ears. Yeah, I can go back to work. I got it all on film, too. I'm going to try to call Miranda. Love you, bye. I got one.
You're a liar.
My GoPro has been filming for 3 minutes and 40 seconds.
How big?
I think he's a 10-pointer, I think. I don't know how big. 120, 130, 140? I don't know. I don't know. He's a nice 10-pointer.
When did you kill him?
I don't know. I'll show you. He's laying dead right here. See him laying dead right there?
Yeah.
He chased the
Well,
doe.
what are you waiting on then?
He chased the doe, and I shot him right in between those 2 trees right there.
Huh?
I said he chased the doe by me. I shot him in between those 2 trees right there. I'm pretty sure it's the same buck I missed with my recurve there tonight.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
I mean, I don't know for sure. That he didn't look near as big as the one I missed, but he was a nice buck and big enough that I can get back to work. I absolutely 10 freaking wheeled him. Dead right there. He's laying dead right there.
Well, go up to him.
I'm 31 foot in a tree.
Oh. Look it down.
Okay. I love you.
FaceTime me whenever you get to him.
Okay, I love you.
I love you.
Bye.
Bye.
We got a buck down, Pueblo.
How big?
I don't know. Big enough. Big enough that he chased the doe by me and I didn't let him go.
All right, send me a picture.
All right, love you.
Congrats, old man.
Thanks. I need to get back to work anyways. I've been hunting hard enough.
All right, congrats.
Love you, bye.
Love you, bye. How big is it?
I don't know exactly. I crushed him at 20 yards and he's laying dead at about 80. Yeah, he freaking chased a doe right underneath of me. I got it on film and everything.
Walk up there and FaceTime me so I can see you.
Well, I gotta FaceTime you and Miranda both. Oh, he's nice. I mean, he may be 120s, 130s. I don't know. Like he looks like he's a 10-pointer, and he's not gonna be any older. He did.
Friend, yeah, get here. Call me back when you get down so I can see you.
Okay.
All right, everybody.
Love you, bye. Okay. Well. I worked real hard for that one. Definitely not the biggest buck I ever shot, and I'm not apologizing because I just absolutely crushed that joker, but God, it feels good. Now, I wanted the first phone call to be my father, but that's not always the way it works out, and he's in heaven right now cheering me on, and that one felt good. I know it sounds silly, but killing deer with other people's stuff, it does something for me. And I shot one with my late brother's bow, and I just killed one with my little brother's bow, and it's just like, that stuff means a lot to me. If I had my recurve, that deer was dead. I mean, I shot him at top pin. I was just really blessed, and I'm glad you guys was able to be here for the whole ride. I got some filming done. It should be a pretty good video, so. Collect myself, go down here, grab my arrow, and go pick him up, see what he looks like. I appreciate everything. It's been a pretty good year. Oh, shoot, darn. I'm still tied to the tree. I don't know why that arrow broke. Where have we seen that before, though? That's a blood trail right there. A blood trail. I think he's going to find my broken. Where's my camera? I mean, these. I mean, dumping all of it. Let's see what I got. Ooh, looking nice. Looking a little nicer. Oh, hell. Yes. That's a nice buck there. Dang, sure enough, good one. I'll be damned right there, boy. You only get so many of these moments in your life, and I'm so stinking blessed. I've been sitting here with this deer for a while, and just does not cease to amaze me how awesome this moment actually is, how blessed I am.